In today's video, I'm going to discuss doing a to-do list every day. What's shaking, bacon? My name is Bruno Panucci. I hope you're keeping well. We're going to start this video off with what's going on with my new challenge. So this month, I'm doing 4 or 5 pounds of meat a day. I'm trying to stick closer to 4, and I'm splitting that up between 5 or 6 meals a day. So that's snacks and meals together. So I'm starting off each day, and I'm having 2 burger patties. I've had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're 8-ounce patties, and I'm having a snack in between, and most often it's going to be 1 patty in between. Now, sometimes I stray from this, so I'm not calling it the lion diet, because every now and then I'll have wings or something like that, or I might have bacon. So I'm trying this because I want to see how I react to cutting back to 4 pounds of meat a day, and also through lots of small meals. Now, that's how bodybuilders do it. So there's benefits to eating this way, and it's keeping a steady source of protein throughout your day. It's a lot more work than my normal habit, which is eat when I'm hungry and eat till I'm satiated. Now, the problem with that is that's good, but I have a big appetite. So I want to see how I do with smaller morsels of food throughout the day. So it's easy when you only have to eat twice a day. It's one of the best things about this way of eating is the simplicity of it. So sometimes I might eat 3 times a day, but I typically eat twice a day up until this month. And for this challenge, for this month and the next month, it's going to be multiple small meals and snacks. So you always got to be a little more prepared and aware of what you're doing for the day, and also be prepared for any obstacles that might arise, right? So that being said, it's going well, and I'm doing 15 to 20 minutes of exercise with weight resistance a day, and I'm doing a little bit of cardio, not much, but I'm doing it like a HIIT workout whenever I do it. So I usually do it between my rowing machine and a ski erg, and at one point this month, I'm going to be introducing some jogging again. I don't jog much because I typically jog outside, and I'm a big guy, so the theory, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, applies to me, because if I fall and break something, it's not going to go well. So I don't like jogging on a treadmill. I will if I have to, but for the most part, that's my challenge for the upcoming month and some goals that I have. So speaking of goals, this is going to be a to-do list episode. So what's the benefits of a to-do list? Well, I find for me, the thing that really got me thinking more about this was a couple years ago when we had the lockdown with COVID. I made a post on Facebook because people had suddenly so much time on their hands. I thought, I got to be constructive with my time, because I'm one of those people, if I have way too much time, I don't get much done. And if I don't have enough time, I don't get much done. I'm good in that medium zone where it's easy to keep structured. But when I get spread too thin, things start falling apart. What I find is a to-do list really works because I'm also an absent-minded person. At night, I remember everything I was supposed to do through the day, errands typically, and little responsibilities I have, maybe laundry or groceries or whatever it might be. I found it was a good idea to make a list of different things that people can put on a to-do list as suggestions, maybe implementing a few of them at a time. So, and let's face it, you can have some fun with this sort of thing because you're setting little goals for yourself. I'm not trying to set goals on a list like this of things you've always wanted to do, but you just haven't been making time for. This is as much about getting stuff done that you're supposed to be doing in a day and being structured about it. And at the end of the day, you can have your list and you can have everything checked off, and maybe 1 or 2 of those things can be things you've wanted to add to your daily routine, but this is more about getting stuff done. Now, you might be a pretty structured person to begin with, and this might not be an issue for you, but everyone, I don't care who you are, you're going to get to the point where you get spread thin. And sometimes having a list of things to do is the best way to manage these things, because the odd thing on a list can be really overwhelming. How does this affect you as a carnivore? Well, when you're stressed and you're prone to stress eating, and I've always been prone to stress eating, this is one of those things that helps manage stress. The last thing you need is the anxiety building day after day of things you need to get done that you keep forgetting to do or putting off. And a little list can go a long way. You don't want to make it an overwhelming list. So we're going to get into the details of it in a bit. One of the great things this does is it helps you with time management. So time management can be an issue when you spread yourself too thin or you have too much on your plate. Now, sometimes that can't be helped. Sometimes you've done it to yourself, and other times it's just done to you. And that's when a list gets really beneficial, because we want to try and make sure through those difficult times, you're not letting these little things pile up. It's going to make you accountable and dependable. So the nice thing about this list is you're going to learn to depend on yourself. And let's face it, the more you can depend on yourself, the more other people will be able to depend on you. And you're going to be one of those people that everyone's going to look at and go, yeah, I know whenever I ask them to do something, they'll get it done. So it's a matter of making your yes mean yes. Now, we all fall short of that at times. No one's perfect. But when you're striving for perfection, and you fall short, you're still going to do really well, right? So you might not always get everything crossed off your list, but I notice even on those days when I don't make my list complete, I got 3 of those 4 things or 5 of those 6 things done on my list that wouldn't have been done if I didn't make a list. So they really help structure the day and also give you a nice dopamine hit, because nothing's better than checking off something on your to-do list. One of the benefits of this as well is when you have a really big goal. I remember a friend of mine said when he was a kid and he had to clean his bedroom, it was overwhelming for him because his room would be a mess. There would be toys everywhere, there'd be clothes everywhere, and it was just a big pigsty. And he would get so overwhelmed, it was just too much for him to do. And he'd end up sitting there not knowing where to start. And the rule was you couldn't spend the rest of your day outside until you got your room done. Now, he wanted to get outside, but he was overwhelmed at the sheer amount of work he had to do just cleaning his room. So what he started doing was a list, breaking that one responsibility down into lots of small tasks. First task, pick up all the clothes off the floor. At that point, it was a little more organized. And then, next thing on the list was pick up the toys. Boom, 2 things off the list. The next thing on the list was cleaning and dusting. The next thing was making the bed. So he had to get the clothes off the bed. So now he could help organize his clothes a little bit better, what needed to be folded and put away and what needed to be put in the laundry hamper, right? So it made that task that was overwhelming way more manageable, because now it was a bunch of small things to do. So that can be your list one day. Sometimes if your life is out of control, a big job like cleaning your whole house might seem like too much. So we can break that down into smaller goals. Sometimes it's work goals that need to be done and prioritized. Sometimes it's responsibilities with the family or kids. And we want to make sure that this is all done manageably. We don't want this to be a wish list of things you want to get done. And if you just try hard enough, they'll get done. We want to try and break this down. It's not a bad idea to put a little number beside how long you think each one will take. So sometimes it's just a matter of 2 or 3 minutes for a task. Say bringing the laundry downstairs and putting it in the washing machine and getting the laundry going. You know, the laundry can take all day, but getting it started can also take all day. So we want to make sure that we're realistic about these time frames. You know, if you have to do a responsibility like cleaning the bathroom, then that's a half-hour job. Then that's your half-hour job. You don't want to mismanage your schedule and your time by giving yourself 4 hours work to do in a 2-hour window. So you might find if you break it down into manageable little numbers and tasks, you can apply it in little windows of the day depending on how your day's looking. So if you have a break 3 times a day for 20 minutes that you'll have time to do some of these things on your to-do list, that might be good. And if you have one of them that maybe takes a half hour or an hour, then that might be something you want to plug away right in the beginning of the day with. One of the things you can do is have a list of from, say, 1 to 5. And a list of 1 to 5 is pretty manageable for most people. If you're struggling and you're going through a lot right now and you're spread too thin, or maybe you're suffering with some anxiety or depression, maybe 3 things on your list might be a good start for you. And if you're doing really well with things, maybe 5 to 7 things on your list might be good for you, because things are always going to pop up, right? So you can have 5 things, your top 5 things that you need to get done. Even if you have 10 things on your list, your goal is 5. And if you get the other ones done, that's gravy. But 5 is a pretty good number to start with for most people. And of course, the follow through is really important. So when you get the follow through done, that's when you get that, you know, that real sense of reward, that dopamine fix, knowing that that task is off the list. There's nothing better than having a list where there's a bunch of check marks beside it. We want to try and make your reward the satisfaction of checking off your list. So what's the benefit of doing this? Well, time management for one, and also the ability to have that sense of accomplishment and reward by the end of the day. It gives you more freedom. It keeps things from piling up on the back of your mind. When you have a lot to do and you just keep forgetting to get it done, or maybe you're too busy to get things done, that's one of those times that can really come in and help manage your stress. The better your stress is managed, the less time you're going to spend possibly doing emotional eating because you're just less stressed. If instead of hanging out at an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10 all the time, you might find getting this list done brings you down to a steady 5 or 6 when it comes to your stress because you don't have things on the back of your mind that you need to get done throughout the day. So let's start off by listing your required tasks. Now, some of these things can be a task that you put on each day. For example, starting your day with a workout or getting up by a certain time every day. So that's the accomplishment, getting out of bed. For some people who don't have a regular set schedule, that can be something that's really important to them. Or like I said, it can be your workout so that when you get up, within the first 5 minutes of getting up, you're in that workout room and you're starting your workout, and that becomes part of your morning ritual. So yes, it's nice because it's becoming a habit, but the beauty of this is it's something you need to do that's off your list. I mention this to my clients when they have stretches or exercises I have to give them for homework, depending on what problem they have. If they always say they don't have time for it, I'm like, look, you have to make time for this. You're here to get better, and I can only do so much while you're here seeing me. You have to make a priority of doing this at home. So do it before you go to bed or when you wake up. One or the other, ideally both. And if you get extra time throughout the day, then make that happen. Sometimes exercise isn't a wonderful thing for someone to try and accomplish as a goal. Sometimes it's something basic that they need to do just to function day to day in life so that they can get the rest of the things done in their life that they need to do. So depending on your mindset, you might want to get the toughest thing on your list done first. So sometimes that's a pretty attainable thing for people. So that's the biggest thing out of the way. And all the other things can be small things, which is really nice. Other people might want to start their day with an easier thing. Maybe it's a 20-minute workout in the morning or a 15-minute workout. Maybe it is getting out of bed by a specific time. Make your first goal something that's easy, and then you'll find, hey, I checked that off, and now I can do number 2. Don't overwhelm yourself with a bunch of hard things in the day. Try and balance it. A couple hard things, a few medium things, maybe 1 or 2 light things. Play it by ear. So then I want you to create a plan. So these are the things you have to get done. Take into account the type of day you're going to have schedule-wise, and try and make sure you can figure out which ones you can get done in which windows of time, because sometimes you can get it all done at once, and you can give yourself 15 minutes or an hour in the first thing in the day to get everything on your list done, and sometimes you're just not going to have that flexibility. So you want to make sure you're going into your day with a bit of a strategy to try and get this list done. So it seems like an extra thing to take on your shoulders, but it's going to manage your time and therefore your stress really well. And it's going to take your stress down that extra level. Now, of course, one of the most important things is follow through, because if you're not getting your list done, it's going to have the exact opposite effect, because now it's just one more thing that you're going to have on the back of your mind going, oh, I haven't gotten that done today. Now, I'm not talking about falling short and only getting 4 of your 5 things done. Of course, it'd be ideal if you got all 5 things done. That's the goal every single day. If your list is 5 things, getting all 5 things done. But sometimes things happen beyond your control. And what you want to do is be able to get as many of those things off the list as soon as possible. So starting your day, getting these things done is, for some people, the best way to go. Some people need to ease into their day better. Everyone's different, and you got to find out what works best for you. So rewarding yourself by getting this list done is going to help so much. This is just another way to manage stress. And if you can do this and just add 5 things to a list every day, you're going to find your day just becomes a little lighter because you're knocking things off a list. Nothing's better than knocking things off a list, is it? Right? And I want to try and stress again, this isn't about giving yourself extra responsibilities and goals throughout the day. Sometimes, here's an example. On my list, sometimes I have to set aside time for drawing. So I've been trying to do this for the last few months. It's something I love to do, but if I don't make time for it, I don't do it. That's something I need to do to help keep myself balanced throughout the day. I have to remember to take care of me throughout the day. So other times, it's literally do the laundry. Other times it's clean the kitchen. Other times it's vacuum the car. Today I had 6 things on my list. So every now and then I add something extra to my list because I've been doing this long enough now. I shouldn't say I've been doing it consistently long enough, but I've been doing this on and off long enough that I know when I can add something extra to my day based on, one, how I'm feeling that night when I'm making my list for the next day, and two, what my day is going to look like. And if I think I have extra time to get something done, or I can kill two birds with one stone by, maybe I have a couple errands to run and I can make sure that while I'm doing one, I can have time to do the other in that window of time. When you get this list completed each day, you have this extra sigh of relief. It's not giving yourself more to do. That's not the goal. The goal is to get things done that need to be done that you've been putting off. Now, you can add some goals in there, but for the most part, this isn't designed to be a goal list of extra things you want to get done in the day. So I hope you found this video beneficial. If you can manage your time better and you're going to be less stressed, everything gets better in life, especially if you're prone to stress eating, as I've always been. So let's see how you do with this. Give it a shot. Maybe do it for a week. I'm not even stressing maybe even a month. It's great if you can do it for a full month, but just try it for a week. Make your list, however long it's going to be, 3, 5, 7, 10 items, and put a time frame beside each one. And try and make the difficult ones earlier in the day if that works for you. Maybe give yourself a light one to start with just to get you going with it, and then tackle the next one, which can be a big one. And then after that, just kind of go with it and get these things done and checked off one at a time. It's just great to get something like this done in a day. And it's just adds that extra little bit of structure to your day, especially if you're overwhelmed with the amount of things you got to do in a day. So thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment and maybe subscribe if you like. I want you to take care. I'll talk to you next time.